Also, as you say, the Darling Buds of May character, she went away, didn't she, to find
and
herself.
then she died.
And then she passed away right at the end. So they really dealt with some strong stuff.
And there was the one with this teacher who sort of got pregnant through an extramarital affair and lost everything, didn't she? And again, it looks at those sort of issues and issues of race and gender and class and everything like that. Presents it in sort of a mainstream way where they get 8-9 million viewers, which is really good for this sort of age of multi-channel TV.
Do you think this is the most out of your comfort zone you've ever gone? Because it does sound...
I think it's probably the most outside. I tell you what, it's the most outside I've stuck with and then gone back to. I think I've tried things that are outside of my comfort zone, but this is the one that I actually then went, do you know what, I actually like this.
Staying with Gary and staying on Sunday nights, number 10, we have Endeavour.
Sorry, you're staying here on Sunday night, you say? I need to get a bed ready. Oh, no, sorry. The problem with Endeavour, for me, is the fact that it's always on early in the year, so by the time you get to the end of the year... You've kind of forgotten it, but there's certainly no way that I can forget how good this show is, how well written it is.
I have to say, I've reminded myself about it today because I've been writing about it for the site for our Best of the Year. So
yeah, this started off the year with Endeavour with him being fired or released from the police squad for further to the incidents that happened where he shot Roger Allam's character, Detective Saturday?
Thursday.
I knew it was a day of the week. It's before the weekend. And the first episode is him sort of doing an investigation on his own due to the sort of friends he was keeping, and then he did get brought back into the police force. And I think, again, these are 2-hour episodes. They really allow you to tell a proper story. I think if Endeavour was done in an hour, I don't think I would like it as much. I like the fact that they allow a story a time to breathe and...
Yeah, and I think that final episode specifically was the sort of a cracking one with the bank heist and all that happened there with Thursday and things like that. Also, there was the Great Gatsby episode, which, I mean, and I've said this before about Endeavour, and I think it's true of each series, each one of the 4 episodes that they have feels different from the other episodes. They've got a different tone. So
yes.
You had the Great Gatsby one, you had the supermarket one. Hey, fans, it's time for maths. And this is number 9, and this is the only one from my list that wasn't on either of your lists. But it might have something to do with the fact that Gary didn't think he was allowed any comedies. It's Fresh Meat.
I don't remember much about it.
So the girls going to the commune, the boys going to London, them all being trapped in the cellar.
I remember the episode with the cellar because it was what's her name?
Vod.
Yeah,
Vod.
That was the great episode where she was trying to, because it was the drug dealers, wasn't it, that were coming for her, she was just trying to convince them it was the TV detector.
TV licensing.
That's it, and he was like, I can't even watch iPlayer.
Drop everything. Get in the cellar. Move! Fucking TV license, people!
Shit!
I thought we paid.
We haven't paid. Look, we're going to fucking prison.
Can I just say, for the record, I hardly watch it.
Oh, so you don't watch the Great British Sewing Bee?
Twice I watched it. It was fucking shit.
You didn't name me.
How do they know your name?
They know everything. Quickly, delete iPlayer from your phones. Oh, Jesus, I'm going to prison for watching new tricks.
Guys, I don't think the TV license people kick your front door in. Oh, don't you see? They've gone rogue.
For the record, that isn't a television in my bedroom. It's a TV monitor for playing video games.
What is going on? I don't know. Maybe it's the guy who comes to pick up the Big Next catalogue.
They already came to pick up the Big Next catalogue.
Okay, but we're not going anywhere until we get our 60 grand.
Guys, I think I might know what this is. Promise not to shout. Well, I might have, by accident, told the drug dealer who's doing security and drugs for my event that I've got 60 grand cash in the house.
You got involved with the Manchester drug lords. The lords of the drug lords.
Drug dealers? Vod, have you seen The Wire? Because I haven't, but I can fucking imagine.
All the characters are brilliant. You had those individual storylines with, Oregon and her sort of taking over
last
the
presidency.
You had the stuff with Vod's debt and her working in a pub. And I just think it was the perfect way to sort of cap off the series, really. And I think we all really loved that episode where they sort of split up the two sexes and had the girls go to that
Yeah.
and the boys go to London, and both of them sort of dealing with their anxiety about what's coming next. And I think that was the sort of overarching theme that a lot of us can relate to, that, you know, we've finished uni now, what's next? And I think they did that well. And as always with Fresh Meat, you've got these sort of larger-than-life characters who are still believable because they have the same sort of worries that, you know, normal people have. The writing by sort of Sam Bay and Jesse Armstrong and the team is really well done. And I think they ended it on a high, which is good. You know, this is the end of it now. They finish university. But I'd like to see some of the actors work together again because they had really good chemistry, and that is one of the things that made the series. Back to Gary.
Hey!
I will appear, fans of me, I will.
Number 8 is a show that only appeared on Gary's list. I think we can work out what it is. It was one of his favourites this year. And again, another surprise, a little bit, was Our Girl.
Really? This was only on my list?
Yes. It
Wow.
wasn't that good.
No,
I thought it was all right. There were bits of this that I really enjoyed, but as a series, there were bits that really sort of dipped for me. And I think...
know for you two, you were not impressed by some of the dialogue.
The dialogue was dreadful. It was like it wanted to be show. And
the one show.
Don't do that every time. Don't do that every time.
I mean, obviously, the thing that was different this year was it was Michelle Keegan that was in the role, so it was completely different to the previous series. And I think they managed to ramp up the action sequences, which I think was what was really important to me. Was they started off in was it in Kenya?
Yep.
Where they were dealing with a bunch of insurgents, and one of them was led by
a Kenyan-Somali border.
That was it. And they were dealing with an ISIS type group, and it was led by a former British Muslim who they captured one of the workers at the hospital, and she went to go and rescue them, and in the rescue she got captured, and then there was quite a serious point where it might have been that she might have been killed. In the end, they were able to rescue her, but the person that rescued her was her ex-fiancé who left her at the altar, so there was a nice kind of tension there. That early plot was very, very good, but I think then bringing it back to England, I know for some of you guys that's where it got, because they got to more of a relationship stuff, but also the idea of tracking down and finding this British Muslim who'd come back to the UK, I think was excellent, and I really did enjoy it. I don't know, maybe I just, because there was nothing else like it all year.
No, I agree with you, Gary, and Luke doesn't. Conversely, number 7 would be something that you love and Gary didn't like at all, and was on my list as well, is Cold Feet.
I love that photo.
Have you not got a more recent one?
That is recent.
Oh. Well, she's young, isn't she?
Not really, she's 30.
Oh, wow. 18 years younger than you.
Just a number.
Yeah. 18.
I don't know if I wanted a Cold Feet return. When it was announced, I was a bit nervous just because so many things had come back and weren't as good. Then I watched the first episode. It was wonderful. Mike Bullen had captured all that I wanted in a return, in as much as he didn't focus on them getting back together. They'd all known each other the full time. It felt fresh and familiar all at once, because there aren't any decent relationship dramas on the TV anymore. As Gary says, Our Girl stood out for him because it wasn't a police drama, or it wasn't a soap, or it was, all the things we're used to now. And Cold Feet is a relationship drama. It's a drama about friends and a drama about people.
So what do you think?
That you shouldn't be getting married.
Oh, shut up. Here, look.
Let's be tighter in the back.
Tighter in the back.
I just don't understand why you are.
Because Angela's only got 6 months to live. That's not true. I just had her to shut you up.
Adam, seriously?
What? Jen, do you remember what it was like to fall in love, huh?
Well, vaguely.
You know, the agony when he doesn't call, the ecstasy when he does.
Sorry, is this Pete we're talking about?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what it's like for me with Ange.
That's because it's early days. You know, the first flush of romance. You don't get married off that. You wait till it's past and then see if you can still stand the sight of each other.
No, well, we can't. Sorry.
It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, there was 8 episodes, and I preferred the first 4 and the last 2. There were 2 in the middle that I thought really let the show
Mike
down.
Bullen didn't write, is that right?
Yeah, oddly enough, yes, he didn't write those. But the inclusion of comedy actor Robert Webb really spoiled things for me and took me out of the cold feet.
In inverted commas, that was.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect. They are doing more. I think what they did, and I don't know whether it is indicative of what people want on television now, they did a lot more overtly comic moments and overtly comic scenes. So that in the final
appealing
episode,
to the sort of common denominator.
Yes. So the final episode, which for the majority was pretty perfect, had a very silly scene where Adam and Pete were stuck in a robbery in a petrol station or a supermarket, I forget exactly which. Not only did it feel out of place in the cold feet world, it felt out of place in the episode. And I spoke to Mike Bullen before that, and he said, well, the difficult thing is that you have to give each and every character, and subsequently each and every actor, something to do, because they're big names and they all want a slice of the story. And I think it struggled with that, because James Nesbitt, Hermione Norris, John Thompson, Faye Ripley, they're all known so well now that they've all got to have their own limelight, and I think the balance wasn't exactly there.
But not Robert Bathurst.
Well, no, I didn't like his jail story either. I liked him, but him in jail...
You just didn't mention him in that list, then?
No, I didn't, because I'd forgotten him.
You know, we've got a cast of 5 core characters, and you've got to make sure that they all have stuff going on. I mean, partly the actors want to have a good role for themselves, and you need to satisfy them because they're all big stars. So, you know, if you're making a movie, and I'm not suggesting James Nesbitt is Bruce Willis, but if you're making a movie, like, you know, like let's say Ocean's 11, but in fact it's Ocean's 6 and 5 of them have got nothing to do, well, then they won't come along to play. So we've got our cast. So I've got to satisfy all of them, and also I've got to satisfy the audience. So you don't want them watching an episode going, well, David wasn't in that. So there's got to be something going on for each of them. You've also got to find yourself in scenarios where you can both move the audience and create laughter. So you're sort of serving 2 masters at the same time. So it is quite a challenge.
But yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it could have been a lot worse, because a reunion is never quite what you remember it to be. And when it was good, it was really good. And even when it was bad, it wasn't terrible.
I think Pete's depression storyline was specifically...
Oh, it saved it. Because they did a really interesting thing where they introduced Adam's new wife. That storyline was quite interesting, but then halfway through she just disappeared and they split up, and it didn't quite gel. So
you knew that they wanted to get him together with Leanne Beth.
Yeah.
You knew that from the start. That it wasn't going to last.
Yeah. But when it was bad, it wasn't unwatchable or terrible. It just wasn't the show I wanted it to be. But when it was good, it was really good.
I'm glad you were right. We didn't have to talk about this one too much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pause this for now and go around the world. And Gary goes global. Some honourable mentions from America and beyond.
Okay, top of my list, and this was actually my original top 10, was the excellent BBC 4 drama Trapped. I think all 3 of us enjoyed this. What?
You sort of went inside the iPad and then came out of it the other end.
Oh, sorry, it's because I turned it to look at it. Sorry, I do apologise. Okay. I'll put it back where it was. The excellent Trapped, which was actually the first of an Icelandic Nordic noir drama, and this was set in a small shipping town that gets cut off from the outside world by the fact